Okay. So I'm thinking about like, well, how do I do it? You know what I mean? How do I tell my clients, my friends, man? Well, it can't be my friends, not professionally. But I mean, like, but how do I tell my clients, like, dude, it can't always just be me. I'm the BHT you go to. And because they think that they've gotten the idea that, like, I'm the only BHT that does something. It sounds really egoic right now. But, like, trust me, if you'd seen it, you'd be like, yeah, for some reason they think that. But why? Okay? So, like, I know that the other BHTs where I work are emphatically passionate about what they do. They wouldn't be there if they didn't want to help. If they didn't want to give back, they wouldn't be there, right? So they care, obviously. But we all show it in different ways and to different degrees because of our experience. Our past experience may be limiting us from, expressing our love and service and stuff. You know what I mean? It totally happens, man. We all share it to different degrees because of the different experiences that we've had. And shit, sometimes it's not the way we were raised. We don't show emotion like that. We don't care. You know what I mean? We don't go out of our way like that. That's over expenditure of energy or something, you know what I mean? Which it probably is. But so, like, my point is that, like, the other BHTs there care. How do I get my guys to see that they care and to communicate with the BHTs, to meet them halfway to their fence, you know what I mean? And then how do we get the BHTs to communicate to meet others halfway at the fence so that we can get out of our comfort zone but also still be there for ourselves and for the other? If that came out right, if that makes sense. But, like, explaining to them how, like, there are different types of personalities in the world and everybody's different. It's just learning about how to meet that other BHT or how to meet that client there at their fence, you know what I mean? Like, well, hey, what do you need to be okay here, and what can I do to make that happen? But also, how can I as a client make your job easier so that we can both get the most out of this entire experience of addiction and addiction therapy, whatnot? How can the client feel comfortable enough to say, hey, BHT, I need this, and this in order, you know what I mean? That's what I need right now. That's what my ego is telling me that I need. Because we come in with a lack mentality. We think we need all this stuff. We think we need our life put back together. We think we need a country song played backwards, fast, when we come into addiction therapy, when we come into recovery. So, like, the dog needs to be brought back to life, the house needs to, the ranch needs to not be sold, the wife needs to not ran off, you know what I mean? Like, everything needs to just be put back together. So, like, it's a complete lack of mentality, but we're not lacking anything, but that's beside the point. So, like, us as BHTs, we got to recognize that. That's where we came from too, that we thought we needed all this shit, but we really don't in the end. But we get what we need and we begin to give ourselves what we want. But how do we get BHTs to recognize that this is their limitation and we need to meet them there, and just kind of placate to some of them? Like, we need to compromise. Okay, well, you need this. You don't need this or this right now. Can we work on that later? But I will get you these right now. How do we compromise? And then also, as clients, how do we get the clients to realize, hey man, these BHTs do care. They're here to help. They want to help, but only to the degree that they're willing to help. So, like, how do we get everybody to work together to compromise? How do we get the BHTs to see the client's needs, and how do we get the clients to see the BHT's needs and to meet halfway in the middle? That's where I'm at right now. I think that's a pretty cool thought, and I just praise God for it. And man, just let's find the way through this. Let's do it together, because that's the only way that this is going to happen. Because if I come up with it on my own, it's only one way, right? Because once we get others involved, then we're going to have to compromise even on my idea. So, like, it just becomes something new. It takes on a whole life of its own. This is the creation process. Have a great day. God bless, guys. Gotta go hang out with the kiddos.